Pilipinas.
The program. The Supreme Court has ruled two portions of the anti-terrorism law are unconstitutional. While they expected more than that, petitioners claim partial victory. After inoculating over 10 million people last week, the national and local governments are now preparing for the second round of a massive COVID-19 vaccination drive, targeting 7 million more Filipinos. And a combination of blue and red, the global color authority Pantone reveals its choice for the year 2022. The long wait is finally over. The Supreme Court strikes down portions of two provisions of the controversial anti-terrorism law. But is it a win for the petitioners? Our senior correspondent, Anjo Alimario, reports.
Petitioners expected and prayed that most provisions or the entire law itself would be declared unconstitutional. But the Supreme Court decided to keep the Anti-Terrorism Act intact except for two portions. First, in a vote of 12-3, the court struck down the qualifier part of Section 4, which defines what constitutes terrorism. The portion that reads, which are not intended to cause death or physical harm to a person, to endanger a person's life, or to create a serious risk to public safety, was declared unconstitutional. The High Court says it's overbroad and violates freedom of expression. For the petitioners, this is an important win.
Malaking bagay ang narrow ng Korte Suprema na parang sinasabi sa otoridad, pag nagrarally yan, hindi yan pwedeng gawing terrorism. Pag freedom of expression yan, hindi yan pwedeng gawin mong inciting to terrorism.
It strengthens the position that dissent, exercise of rights, should not be considered terrorism.
But they agree the prevailing definition of terrorism is still problematic and might be the subject of their motion for reconsideration. Voting 9-6, the High Court also voided the second method of designating terrorists under Section 25. This refers to the request of other countries to designate terrorists, which may be adopted by the Anti-Terrorism Council or ATC. But the Council's power to designate a person or a group as terrorists remains. What's also alarming for the petitioners, the 24-day detention allowed under Section 29 of the law is still alive. Human rights group Karapatan says retaining repressive provisions will only worsen the already dismal human rights situation in the country. The Supreme Court made it clear that on the basis of the current petitions, all the other challenged provisions of RA 11479 are not unconstitutional. But the law expert says other provisions of the Anti-Terrorism Act can still be challenged when an actual case is filed. 37 petitions were filed challenging the law's constitutionality, and the petitioners are firm. The fight is not yet over. Anjo Alimario, CNN Philippines.
Despite the two portions flagged by the Supreme Court for government top lawyer Solicitor General Jose Calida, the decision recognizes the, quote, need for a dynamic law that will defend citizens against the baleful impacts of terrorism. The Anti-Terrorism Council says it will respect the decision of the Supreme Court. While he's happy that the decision is out, the Council's Vice Chairman, National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon, says their lawyers will still have to study it once they get a copy of the court's ruling. Council member Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says the two exceptions are minimal and won't affect the law at all, adding they will make appropriate adjustments. Presidential hopeful Vice President Leni Robredo says she is hopeful the rest of the concerns will be substantially resolved in the High Court's full decision. Robredo reiterates the law must address the root causes of terrorism and should not be used as a pretext to stifle freedom of expression or legitimate dissent. The High Court released its decision on the eve of International Human Rights Day. For Robredo's running mate, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, it would have been a meaningful gift to celebrate tomorrow, to strike out what he says are the remaining dangerous provisions of the law. Pangilinan was among the petitioners seeking to declare the law unconstitutional. Meanwhile, Senators Ping Lacson and Tito Soto, who are among the authors of the highly contested law at the Senate, praised the Supreme Court's decision. With the anti-terrorism law, Lacson is hopeful the Philippines will now be removed from the Global Terrorism Index.
Alam mo, yung decision ng Supreme Court, in just one short sentence, yung peace wins over terror. Ako bilang principal sponsor, masaya do sa decision ng Korte Suprema. Ang principal author si Senate President.
Hail, hail, Supreme Court, and beware the terrorists.
While another presidential hopeful, Senator Manny Pacquiao, respects the decision of the High Court, Leody de Guzman says he is disappointed the justices did not declare the entire law unconstitutional. De Guzman argues the law will only endanger activists' rights or anyone who wants to protest against those in power. He adds unless there are judicial reforms, magistrates will remain loyal not to the Filipino people, but to the president who appointed them to their posts. A week after wrapping up a massive nationwide vaccination drive, the government is now gearing up for a second round to be held next week. Carolyn Bonkin tells us what to expect.
Denda is among those who recently received a first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. She even traveled from Metro Manila to her hometown in Rizal to get inoculated.
Para sigurado po na safe po talaga sa COVID po.
But Rolando Bumulan is still unvaccinated. He's been living on the streets of Quezon City and no one has approached him yet about getting the shot. As of Wednesday, over 54 million Filipinos, or nearly half of the entire population, already had at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, thanks to the massive immunization drive last week. Over 10 million Filipinos have been vaccinated in 5 days.
Sa pagtatapos ng taong ito, tiwala kami na kayang-kaya nating maabot na 54 million o higit pa sa fully vaccinated individuals ang matetala natin.
Health Secretary Francisco Duque sees 77 million Filipinos fully vaccinated by first quarter of 2022 and 99 million or 90% of the total population by the end of Duterte's presidency. There's another round of massive vaccination drive from December 15 to 17. This time, local governments aim to inoculate 7 million Filipinos.
Ang problema natin ngayon yung mga malalayong lugar, yung mga malilit na bayan. That's where we're focusing our efforts now.
Among the focus areas are in the Bangsamoro region. Although daily vaccination there improved, it still has the lowest vaccine coverage due to hesitancy and challenges in transporting vaccines.
I really encourage that the LGUs seek the complementary efforts of the private sector and the NGOs.
Among those helping is a private sector consortium Task Force T3. Since September, they've been assisting local governments in Manila and Quezon City to reach unvaccinated individuals from marginalized sectors, those who don't have a home to get registered or means to go to vaccination sites, and those who can't afford to lose a day of work or have no one to take care of their children.
We've tried our best to address these barriers. For the transportation, jeeps were provided. There were groceries provided to everyone. There was lunch for the day, there was food, and for some, they were even given a bit of cash to compensate the day's work.
For those with no permanent address, non-government organizations vouch for the vaccinee and assist in ensuring they get a second dose.
The organizers of these events should closely coordinate with both the local CSO networks on the ground who actually know these people, yung lubog talaga, kasi sila po makaka-convince lalo na kung hesitant or meron pong mga ibang concerns.
The World Health Organization and the Health Department are checking how they can replicate what Task Force T3 has been doing in other provinces. Carolyn Bonkin, CNN Philippines.
The World Health Organization cautions against drawing conclusions about the severity of new COVID-19 variant Omicron as it spreads to 57 countries. Early studies from South Africa show Omicron causes a milder disease than the Delta variant. The WHO is calling on countries to scale up testing and sequencing, improve vaccine coverage, and submit more data to get a clearer picture of Omicron's severity and symptoms.
we're not defenseless against Omicron or Delta. The steps countries take today and in the coming days and weeks will determine how Omicron unfolds. If countries wait until their hospitals start to fill up, it's too late. Don't wait. Act now.
Meanwhile, promising news about how Pfizer's vaccine works against Omicron. The firm says a third dose can neutralize the variant and increase antibody levels 25-fold, according to preliminary studies. South African researchers earlier found that 2 Pfizer shots don't have enough protection against Omicron. Coming up on Newsnight, a vow to waive bank secrecy rights, plus a new addition to One Tandem's Senate slate. We give you the latest on 2022 aspirants. And what were Filipinos most curious about this year? Find out which topics topped Google searches when we return.
Oh, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
My health through proper diet, exercise, and MX3 capsule, I am ready to serve. Kasi para sa Panginoon, hindi lang ako 4th runner-up. First place ako sa puso niya.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
For my babies, only vet-approved Nutri-Chunks puppies. The only one with active boost and prebiotics na Pampalisto. Made with real meat with essential nutrients to help them grow strong and healthy. Happiness! Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks puppies.
Sa pagbangon ng mga Pilipino, saludo ako sa mga taong patuloy na humaharap sa hamon ng pagbabago.
Bilang isang ina, handa akong gawin ang lahat para sa kaligtasan ng aking mga anak.
Pandemya man, tuloy pa rin ang serbisyo para malinis ang kapaligiran.
Serbisyong publiko para sa kaligtasan ng lahat.
Sa panahon ng krisis, ikaw, ako, magtulungan tayo. Saludo ako sa Pilipino.
Bawat patak, may sarap, may lakas, sulit. Red Horse Beer.
So from my fridge decluttering, I found some good ingredients that I could work with, and I have a pretty good idea of what to do with it. We'll be making the home fridge mix, which is a grapefruit and mint kind of cocktail. For this cocktail, you'll need, and for the tools, first we're going to get our shaker, grab our mint, and our simple syrup, and then we muddle. Add your GSM Premium Gin and your grapefruit juice. Lastly, your egg white. And then we're going to close it up and start our dry shake. This basically means we're going to shake our cocktail without the ice. After about 10 seconds, open up your shaker and fill it with ice, then shake again. When your shaker is ice cold, it's time to pop it open and double strain. Garnish this with some dehydrated grapefruit and some mint. There you have it, your very own home fridge mix made with GSM Premium Gin.
Looking for faster travel time around Metro Manila? The Skyway Stage 3 project has got you covered. Taking the 17.93-kilometer, 6-lane elevated expressway cuts the usual 2-hour travel time from Buendia in Makati to Balintawak in Quezon City to just 15 to 20 minutes. As the longest elevated expressway in the country, it is helping decongest major thoroughfares, including EDSA. Skyway Stage 3 also links motorists coming from the South Luzon Expressway, or SLEX, to the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX. It is also set to create new transport routes for buses and UV Express vans, so commuters will no longer only have to rely on the MRT and the LRT. In an industry first, Skyway Stage 3 also features double-decker stations that will provide enough space for vehicles in the densest parts of the metro. The project is also seen to enhance the economic interaction of Calabarzon, Mega Manila, and Central Luzon that contribute to over 60% of the country's GDP. Skyway Stage 3, an engineering marvel, built by Filipinos for Filipinos.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos and his running mate, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, include former Public Works Secretary Mark Villar in their senatorial lineup. Our George Cahiles tracked the activities of some hopefuls in next year's polls.
Today is World Anti-Corruption Day.
Senator Panfilo Lacson vows to open his bank account to the public should he become president. In a media briefing, the standard bearer of Partido Reforma says he will do this on day one in office and will encourage his fellow public servants to follow suit. His running mate, Senate President Tito Soto, says he will follow Lacson's lead. He adds, it's an individual choice.
Ilang congresses na, lagi ko pinapile yung bill na yan, na pag ikaw pumasok sa gobyerno, dapat deemed waive yung iyong karapatan, yung rights mo under the Bank Secrecy Act. So I'm just being consistent. But to challenge the others, no, I will not challenge them. It's personal.
In Cavite, the Bongbong Marcos-Sara Duterte tandem held a caravan, where Marcos announced the inclusion of former Public Works Secretary Mark Villar in their senatorial lineup. Villar has yet to make an official statement on the endorsement.
Secretary Mark Villar na siyang susunod na isa pang senador ay iluluklok po natin sa Senado yan, si Mark Villar. Alam niyo naman yung trabaho niya. Nakita naman ninyo pagka kayo babiyahe kahit saan, makikita niyo yung mga bagong project.
Aksyon Demokratikos Isko Moreno and Willie Ong visited Malabon and Navotas cities. In a dialogue with residents, the Manila mayor promised to improve the plight of the poor. He vowed to lower fuel taxes and electricity charges by half.
Sa tulong ninyo, nagtagumpay tayo. Babawasan ko ng 50% ang buwis ng petrolyo. Pangalawa, para dire-diretso na, babawasan ko ang buwis ng 50% ang buwis ng kuryente.
Manny Pacquiao meanwhile held a motorcade in Quezon City. Traffic slowed down on Commonwealth where the motorcade passed. It is becoming a common sight for aspirants, making their presence felt, and the senator had this to say.
Humingi ako ng paumanhin doon sa mga naabala at sa haba ng sumama kasi supposedly kunti ilang cars lang kami pero maraming sumama, nagbigay ng suporta sa atin. So kaya humaba.
Vice President Leni Robredo and Labor leader Leody de Guzman were off the public radar today. George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
Vice presidential aspirant Sara Duterte meets with 9 of the 17 mayors in Metro Manila. Among those present during last Wednesday's lunch were the mayors of Parañaque, Caloocan, San Juan City, Navotas, Marikina, Valenzuela, Pasay, Mandaluyong, and Makati. MMDA spokesperson Ben-Hur Abalos, as well as the vice mayors of Las Piñas and Pasig, also met with the presidential daughter. The mayors of Pasig, Quezon City, Las Piñas, Muntinlupa, Malabon, Taguig, and Pateros did not attend the meeting. Presidential aspirant and Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno also wasn't there. Poll watchdog Contra Daya calls on Senator Bongo to formally withdraw his presidential bid as soon as possible. Go has yet to file his statement of withdrawal before the COMELEC, 10 days since he announced he is backing out from the race.
Bongo should also, put his money where his mouth is, so to speak, by, just simply withdrawing. I mean, we're sick and tired of the drama already. We don't want the risk of voters, being so disillusioned with the entire circus that they don't see the importance of voting on May 9 anymore. don't wait until election day to withdraw. You have to withdraw now, preferably before January, so that your name will be taken out of the official ballot.
Contradaya also urges the COMELEC to resolve the multiple petitions against former Senator Bongbong Marcos' 2022 bid within the year.
I think the COMELEC should act swiftly and decisively on such issues so that the doubts will be forgotten. Bumabalik na naman tayo dun sa usapin ng agam-agam. Why? Many people say that the reason Bongo doesn't want to withdraw is because he is supposed to be a backup to the situation if Marcos would end up being disqualified.
Meanwhile, supporters of Marcos and Go gathered outside the COMELEC's office, asking if their bets can remain in the running. They even had a showdown of sorts.
Pumapayag na pinagwawatak-watak tayo ng mga iilang tao.
Disqualify na kayo! At wala ng chance!
Work from home or hybrid arrangements will likely be the new normal post-pandemic as more companies go digital and as traffic in Metro Manila worsens. The World Bank says flexible jobs that can be done at home were resistant during the pandemic, with productivity gains from work from home arrangements. It also sees more demand in digital skills in the workforce as more companies use digital technologies.
Before the pandemic, there were a lot of proponents for working from home because of flexibility reason. And Dr. Ureta mentioned the notorious traffic, so you don't have to be stuck in the traffic. So there is certain flexibility and saving of time and then productivity gain from work from home. But the downside is that you lose the interaction with your peers.
But the World Bank also says the lack of equipment and reliable internet access at home are major barriers for remote work. 10-10, 11-11, 12-12. Do these numbers sound familiar? Well, if you're an online shopaholic, you know what those mean. E-commerce platforms and retailers are once again gearing up for the big 12-12 sale. And as senior correspondent David Santos reports, this could be the nation's biggest shopping day ever.
Brisk online sales is a sign of our changing times.
Kasi mas mura sa ngayon tsaka mas convenient.
Syempre, doon ka na lang sa bahay, hindi ka nalalabas.
Even before the pandemic, Filipino consumers have been setting sales records for top e-commerce platforms like Lazada and Shopee. COVID-19 no doubt fast-tracked the pace of our migration to digital shopping.
Hirap lumabas kaya online shopping na lang.
Hindi siya hassle yung magpapaikot-ikot ka pa sa mall. Mas safe kasi na dumadating na lang yung item or yung product sa bahay.
And even if foot traffic in malls and brick-and-mortar stores are picking up, thanks to more relaxed restrictions, experts say there's nothing like online sales such as Sunday's 12-12 to set new records.
I feel like we're going to spend more this year with the comfort levels that we have and the trust that we have on the platforms now than we did last year.
Aside from bargains and free shipping, convenience attracts the consumer, especially with payments made either through cash on delivery or digital wallet.
The benefit of getting your stuff handed to you or delivered to your doorstep is the number one benefit.
With Filipinos shelling out from their 13-month pay for holiday gifts, electronics, groceries, personal care, and clothes are among the hot items.
What we're seeing now is that Filipinos are a lot more budget conscious and they're focusing on essential items. At the same time, we're seeing Filipinos upgrading their homes. They're buying a lot of home and living items and even some accessories now that the economy is opening up a bit.
In previous years, Filipinos spent bulk of online purchases on vacation and airfare.
However, with the complications right now of travel, I think we'll definitely see less of that this year.
A pre-pandemic survey showed 7 in 10 Filipinos bought a product or service online, making the Philippines a major regional e-commerce market. In fact, Google predicts online consumer sales in the country will quadruple by 2025. proof that regardless of conditions, Filipinos will always find ways to spend and keep the economy going. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Still ahead on Newsnight. Apart from COVID-19, what other topics did Filipinos Google the most this year? And Pantone's color for 2022 is called Very Peri. What does it symbolize? Find out after the break.
Oh, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
Para steady ang supply ng sementong Tigasin. Northern Cement Max Plus, Supreme at Max Pro.
Ahon! Bangon! Sulong!
San Miguel flavored beer! Game! Pag kindness ang tinanim, kindness din ang aanihin. Make life sweet with San Miguel flavored beer with the deliciously refreshing flavors of apple, lychee, and lemon with just the right beer buzz. San Miguel flavored beer. Bili na sa suking tindahan.
Make a splash at mealtime with Pure Foods Seafood Delights. 100% real seafood goodness. Ready to serve in minutes. Pure Foods Seafood Delights. Eat so easy.
6 na taong serbisyong may tatak ng tapang at malasakit. Inuuna ang ating kaligtasan, seguridad, kapayapaan at kapakanan ng mga nangangailangan. Matatag, may paninindigan at tapat sa bayan. Ibinuhos ang lahat para sa Pilipino, para sa maliwanag na kinabukasan at tungo sa pag-angat ng bawat mamamayan. Ito ang Duterte Legacy.
This Christmas season, Robinsons Supermarket is giving you and your family more reasons to be happy with Holiday Fair 2021 promo. This promo has fresh and healthy groceries with exciting deals, perfect for the moms and dads out there who are preparing for the holidays. The promo started last November 1 and will stretch throughout the holidays until December 31, 2021. What's best about this promo is that we will be giving away up to 3 million worth of shopping sprees to 60 lucky customers. All they have to do is to purchase at least 1,500 pesos worth of Holiday Fair participating items using their Go Rewards card or app. If you want to avoid the holiday rush, don't worry. Just order your Holiday Fair groceries online at Robinsons Supermarket via Go Robinsons Delivery. You'll still be able to enjoy all the exciting deals and discounts plus free delivery if you order at least 3,500 pesos worth of groceries. We're also doing the Holiday Fair 2021 live series via Facebook. We will be giving away up to 175,000 pesos worth of cash prizes, gadgets, and gift certificates. So please join us on our remaining episodes. That's on December 4th and December 18. Enjoy this exciting holiday ride with Robinsons Supermarket. Happy holidays and safe shopping, everyone.
Love is all about time. Di minamadali ang pagpapasarap. Like the love in every Pure Foods ready-to-eat. Slow-cooked and ready in 8 minutes. Para may time ka sa mga mahal mo. Because love takes time.
Ano ba talaga ang tunay na astig? That's Red Horse for you. Iba ang sipa.
In Red Horse, we use a blend of malted barley and cereals. The key to brewing an extra strong beer is to convert the carbohydrates into fermentable sugars. And in Red Horse, we use a carefully selected yeast strain, one that is very robust.
This full-flavored lager is multi-awarded. Over the years, Red Horse has garnered awards from Mon Selection and the Australian International Beer Awards. Red Horse clearly is on fire. From video conferencing to virtual happy hours with family and friends, you'll get a kick out of the freshness and boldness of Red Horse.
Welcome back. What were Filipinos looking up online this year? Yes, it's still COVID-19 and more so than in 2020. COVID-19 prevention topped Google Philippines' list of most searched topics in 2021. Coronavirus was only third last year. Topics on vaccination also entered the top 5 in the news category, as well as the Miss Universe pageant and Manny Pacquiao's latest boxing match. Meanwhile, the Pinoy group has broken through top Google searches worldwide. SB19's Mapa landed 5th in the songs category, beating out BTS's Butter and Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You. Excited for 2022? Pantone has already announced the color of the year. And for the first time, the company created an entirely new one instead of picking from its pre-existing archive. Very Perry is a periwinkle hue. Executive Director Latrice Iceman says it is the happiest of all blue hues, and the red undertone, quote, introduces an empowering feeling of newness. We have 16 days before Christmas. That's it for tonight. I'm Ruth Cabal for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
Anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy